guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we are back to discuss Only Murders in the Building. We'll be talking about season 1, and I can definitely say that because it has been picked up for season 2. So we are going to be talking about season 1, episodes 4, 5, and 6. But first, we're going to shoot the shit so that I can tell you a bit of show business because there's a lot of stuff going on with the podcast. And it's been a minute since we've all spoken. I've been on vacation, so me, Donnie, and Kaylee haven't had anything for you guys in the past week. And John isn't on some of the stuff that we are covering when the three of us are recording. So the last time John was here, has it been another month?
A little bit.
Okay, because I know, like last time you jokingly
said this podcast.
Well, yeah, because the last time John jokingly was like, "Okay, see you in a month," and I was like, "No, I won't be that long." I'm like, you know what? It might have been that long. So there's some catching up to do, and we got to be somewhat quick because you guys know Donnie works nights now, so. It's a lot, but really quickly, I want to, because I was on vacation for a whole week, actually, I had to push everything back because that wasn't originally the plan, right? The plan was 4 nights and I went for 7. So I had to change the schedule, pushing things back a full week just so that I didn't get overwhelmed coming back to like catch up, which I thought about. I was like, I'll just marathon podcast over the weekend when I get back. And I was like, no, just let it go. So everything got pushed back. I want to let you know that the schedule looks a little different. You guys know that we now post the publication the day that the podcast drops. That is what is in the first tab, and it says it every month. The dates you're looking at are the days that the podcast will appear in your podcast streams. The second tab is the recording dates. And so what that is the day that we will be recording that particular show for specific episodes. So you want to check that second tab if you're worried about, getting your feedback in, or if you're thinking about leaving feedback and you want to know how much time you have. You definitely want to check that second tab. There's one other thing. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So there's some new stuff coming up. Squid Game. We are covering that. We've already watched the first 2 episodes. Oh my God, I love it so much. And I'm kind of joking, but like for you guys subscribe to the podcast, I'm going to have y'all speaking Korean in like a year. Tops. Give it time, because there's so many great Korean dramas that are already out, that are coming out, that I want to cover, and Squid Game is the next one. We're currently covering Signal over on the premium show, but Squid Game will be free, so we start recording for that this weekend. What else? Foundation is a new sci-fi series on Apple TV Plus, which I realize a lot of people don't have. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that.
Just because of Ted Lasso.
I was just going to say, Ted Lasso is amazing, which we will be adding to the schedule, by the way. But Foundation is on Apple TV Plus, and it is based on a series of books by Isaac Asimov, I think his name is. And I know his last name is Asimov. And the first 2 episodes are out now, and I think the show drops every Friday. So I think the 3rd episode will be out this week, at the end of this week. I watched it for Donnie. Did you watch?
No, I've not watched it.
Okay. I didn't think so. I watched the first 2 episodes, which is something I'm going to start doing now, you guys. I'm going to watch the episodes before I do a hard commit to putting it on the schedule. And I'll explain why in a second. But I watched it and I absolutely loved those 2 episodes.
Because some things suck.
Yes.
I bet I can guess.
Yeah, some things you watch and it's like, So foundation, and everything I'm listing here, the feedback posts are already up on Patreon. They are open to the public, whether you're a paid subscriber or not. So yeah, if you've already started watching some of this stuff and you want to get your feedback in, the posts are already up. What else? So we are finishing Attack on Titan in the next week or so. Can't believe it. And our next two animes are Erased and then Demon Slayer. And we're doing Erase kind of quickly because we want to cover the live action show, and it is going to be replacing Signal when that's done. So I had to schedule this stuff in a way. I would much rather watch the source material first, the anime first, before diving into the live action. But feedback posts for both are already up on Patreon. So we have Erase live action and Erase the anime. Both are available on Netflix. They may be available other places, but I know for a fact they're available on Netflix because that's how I'm going to watch them. And the last thing... No, wait, I think that's it. Erase, Demon Slayer. November, we have Cowboy Bebop. We have Goblin. We have The Wheel of Time. And I feel like one other thing I'm forgetting. Hawkeye. Yeah, which the trailer looks really good.
Yeah, they really are leaning into the Matt Fraction series. So that's cool.
And a lot of people where I know we're hoping that they did. So so that's it. That's if you were wondering like where the show's been. Oh yeah, the finale of Black Summer coming up at the end of the week. And then we're just jumping right into the new schedule. Everything is up. Nico. Everything's up on the calendar. And of course we're continuing Money Heist. We're in the second season. Oh my god, that shit is so good. I can't. I'm so angry that it's as good as it is.
I told you.
Because Donnie was right.
I like him better when Donnie's wrong.
I really do. No. But yeah, so yeah, the schedule is packed with a lot of good stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I've watched some of this stuff already, like Squid Game and Foundation, and they're great. So really looking forward to talking about it. I think that's it for show business. Does anybody have anything else? Yikes.
I have some things, but I don't know if we want to spend time on them.
Oh, well, what things? I'm scared.
I haven't been watching anything, but I mean, just like fun things.
Like what?
Like last weekend, I did my first 5K.
Did you really?
Yeah. What
the fuck you do that for? Like running?
Yeah, I mean, I ran some of it.
What are you laughing at, Donnie?
No, because I knew he did it because I saw his Facebook post, but then I just realized you hadn't seen it because you're banned on Facebook.
No, I'm not. Well, yes, I am banned on Facebook, but that's not why I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I hadn't been on Facebook for like a week, so shut up. Not really. Anyway, I honestly, only time I really spent on Facebook over the past week was if I was like live commenting a show I watched on vacation. So, but anyway, so you ran a 5K with your feet.
Yeah, mostly. I walked a lot of it.
Okay.
Walked fast, but I ran some of it.
Was it for charity? I'm trying to figure out why my friend went and ran his ass a race. Okay, Donnie, you leave me alone.
Technically, yeah, they were raising money for some charity. I don't know what the fuck it was. Some Lions Club thing.
That sounds white.
I mean, it probably is.
You were raising money for like the Elks Club of like some local like white dudes.
Yeah, so they can go bowling.
Yeah, right. All right, whatever. Charity is charity.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fun. It was nice. It's something I wanted.
Really? Because you don't sound like it was fun. You got to convince me a little bit more. How was it, John?
No, it was fun because like it was on a Saturday. At like 6 a.m. I had to get up. John. That was not the fun part. But I decided to do it like on a Wednesday. And I was
wait a minute. Yeah, because I was just going to say, I know motherfuckers train for 5Ks.
Yeah.
John was like, fuck that.
Yeah, I couldn't commit to that because that's something I've looked into doing 5Ks before. Mm-hmm. And then I always was like, fuck it.
Right. The appropriate response.
Yeah, but I was like, this time I was like, I wanted to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fine, let me look and see if there's one happening soon. And
Mm-hmm.
then I found one. I Googled it, and I found this 5K was like 5 minutes from me, but it was like 3 days away, and I was like, well, that's too soon. And I said, fuck it. But then I just decided, well, whatever, I'll do it. Because like the next one was like October 17th, and I was like, that's too far. I just won't do it.
Yeah, and it might be kind of cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's further away. Like this was just it was like perfect. It was just like 5 minutes away. Like I had to get up at 6 o'clock, but like it was just like a 10-minute drive. So if it were further away, I would have had to drive further.
Did you how many, was it a lot of people?
There were 38 people in it, which was that was another thing that made me want to do it, because it was outside and I knew that there wouldn't be a ton of people because it was like a small town thing. And so I was like, this does it. They'll be spread out. I can do a thing spontaneously, right? And have fun with something and not like be worried that there are going to be a million people giving me COVID.
Giving me COVID. I mean, yeah.
I wore a mask. I wore like the mask that I wear when I go to the gym. And so like nobody else was wearing a fucking mask when they were doing that thing. But like everybody was spread out, once it got started, like I was toward the back, of course. But yeah, I had two goals: to finish, to not finish in last.
I was going to ask, what place did you come in? 38th? Tell me you didn't.
I was at 31st.
Nice.
That's what I mean. Not last. And finish under an hour, and I did that, and so I was like, I'm fine.
Nice. Okay. I didn't even think about like the time. That's not bad. An hour. Yeah, that's like going for a nice walk.
Yeah, I mean, I did it in 49 minutes.
And it loops you back where you started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a course. It was a street course, and like had cops out there like stopping traffic, and I was like, "This is why." Why?
I thought you were gonna say this is nice.
No.
You didn't like them.
If I were trying to drive somewhere, I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's so you don't hit people.
Yeah, okay. I mean it felt like 90% of the thing was uphill, which is impossible. Terrible. But that's what it felt like.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like the way that they mapped it out, it was like the uphills were very steep and the downhills were very gradual. So like it never felt like you were going downhill.
Right. But definitely felt like you were going uphill.
Yeah, you went. That was some steep hills, and I thought that I was like, I didn't train, I didn't have any experience doing this. I've never I hadn't run in like 10 fucking years.
Right.
I had not run, and so I was like, oh, I'm just bothered by this because of me. But then when we finished, there was this guy who was like good at it, and he was complaining about how hilly it was, and I was like, all right, I feel better.
Yeah, what he said.
I was like, yeah, you're right. I do this all the time too, and this one sucked.
You're like, and I've never, ever done a 5K with this many hills ever.
Yeah, ever. This is the most hills has ever been in any 5K that I've done.
Yes. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I did a fun thing, and I'll
do it again.
I'll let you do. I did a fun thing, and then I'll let you tell another fun thing.
All right. Donnie doesn't get to go.
I don't do fun things.
No, because my fun thing was with Donnie.
Well, I don't want to hear about that.
We went to see. Okay, you guys. I went to the movies during COVID. And let me explain something to you. First of all, I did it. It was like a last minute, and by last minute, I mean like the day before. Not as kind of like John deciding to run a fucking 5K. No, but it was the day before, and I did it because I felt bad that I had gone for 4 days and I extended it. And, I hadn't seen my son. I wanted to do something with my son, and he's very peculiar about the things that he likes to do. And he hadn't seen, and we hadn't seen Shang-Chi yet. So I was like, I'll go into Fandango. And, it's been out a few weeks, or a month at least, right? Or almost a month.
4 weeks.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. So I went online. I'm thinking, with the fact that it is, still COVID, and the fact that it's been out a minute, and it'll be a matinee, like, let's see how empty it is. So I pull up the, the seat selection for the showtime. It was like a 4:00 show. Because I also had to take into account that even though Donnie was off, he still keeps his body on his sleep schedule, where he's like sleeping during the day. So 4:00, I go pull up the calendar.
Body ready.
Yeah, I got it. It's funny you should say that. So I pull up the theater, the seat selection, and it's a huge theater, and there's like 3 tickets purchased like right at the front. Like, why? Why would you do that? Who? Why? Why would you ever sit in the front row if you didn't have to?
I literally bought 2 tickets to the same movie because I didn't want to sit in the front row.
Right. Yeah, because that's just ridiculous. I mean...
I showed up and the theater was full and the only seats they had were the front, and I was like, well, fuck this. I'll just buy tickets to another showing. And then I left.
So there was those taken, and then there were like a few in the back, and like 2 people, and then a group of 3 people, and they chose their tickets like way in the back and on opposite ends from each other. So I was like, oh, this is great, like perfect. So I picked those 3 seats in the center, kind of far back, like I left a lot of room between us and the idiots in the front, and a lot of room between us and the people in the back. No problem. So we get there and got our masks on and stuff. And I, did the mobile tickets and all that stuff. So you just have to scan it. And we go to our seats, and there are like 5 people sitting in the seats right in front of us. Why? Like, why? Now I'm, and maybe this is on me because I just assumed everybody is smart like me, and that you purchased your tickets online so you could see the layout. But I'm thinking maybe they thought I was the asshole. Like, maybe they were like, why is she sitting right behind us? And I was like, let's move. So we moved, like, so that we could be alone. And then, yeah, the whole time, John, I was like, please don't let me get COVID. Please don't let me get COVID.
You saw those young kids that came in. They took our seats, so they sat right behind them too.
Yeah, I was like, why did you do that? Like, why would you why do you want to sit near people? This is ugh. And yeah, so we saw Shang-Chi, and it was great. Go ahead.
I wish the theaters would be enforcing like distancing.
Yes.
I just be like, oh, you can sit in these 2, but then these 2 have to be empty. Then these
like,
2,
they block it off so nobody can buy the ticket.
And that not only, well, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and think that they didn't purchase those online and choose seats in front of, other people. But it seems more likely that they just came and sat down. They didn't know there were reserved seats behind them. But yeah, it would have been great if, as somebody who paid for reserve seats and pick seats to be socially distant, I don't know, you call somebody in and say, can you make them move, please?
But does the theater not have all seats be reserved?
What do you mean? No. I mean, so my assumption before, when I started telling this story, like up until I started telling it, my assumption was that they also went online and bought their tickets through Fandango and picked those seats. So I'm like, why would you pick those seats? Because you should have seen that my seats were already purchased. You get what I'm saying?
But they bought their tickets after you. So like, even if they bought them there at the theater, they should have still seen
yes.
that you bought those tickets behind.
And that's
how? No, wait. How would they? No.
Because they're blocked out. They're red. They'll be red. That means that they've already been purchased.
No, but you can buy tickets, like not reserved seats. That when you buy them at the,
yes, but you have to for now you have to, when you go to even if you walk up to the stand and get tickets there, you have to pick your seats now.
And they show it to you.
Yes, they'll bring up a computer and say, these are the seats available. Which ones do you want?
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I thought that when you buy at the thing, it's just like, you know, you go,
they no longer, and that's where
and then you just know what ticket, you know what your seats are once they're print. You know what I mean? Like the concession person just puts up 3 and then hands them to you. Okay. That makes sense. That's actually nicer. That makes way more sense. So that means that they pick seats where they saw that I was.
Yeah.
And and then like you're saying is they should not have let them do that.
They should have blocked out.
Right.
If they were smart in following social distancing like companies they should have blocked those seats out and said these are not available.
Or at the very least, you have the person.
The only way to stop that would to have like an usher or somebody come in before people start sitting down and actually do something to like tape off the seats or something like that. Because what happened when we moved is somebody else took our seats. So there's nothing stopping people from moving to wherever they want to sit.
And in I've watched a couple of vloggers that I followed. They've been going to the movies like probably since they've been vaccinated, and I'm like, y'all are brave. But I noticed that they, like, I never see like other people in the theater, and then I noticed that one time they went to one of those like with the really big like the living room seating, and you could see that the theater had put up tape and blocked off seats. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was interesting. That was like that was, I would say I don't know. I feel like the hotel doesn't count because I literally got out the car in front of the hotel, went inside, went up to my room, and stayed there. Mm-hmm. Only came down to the front desk a few times. And when it was time to go, Donnie was parked right in front of the hotel again. I went out, got in the car, came home, and that was it. So going to the movie, I think that it was a couple of things. One, it was guilt. Like I wanted to do something for my son. And I was just like, let's go do this. And I says, and I'll check to see if there's no seats. Because he was apprehensive too, by the way. And so I promised him I would check and make sure there was nothing there. And I do think that was part of like what was wrong with him, Donnie, in the beginning. He was uncomfortable that those people were right in front of us. So, and I asked him if he wanted to move. I was like, should we move? He's like, yeah, let's. So anyway, and then just, I think, even though I was careful, like going to the hotel, like I said, that's all I did. I wonder if I got like relaxed, you know what I mean? Like I got a little forgot myself. And, so I was like, yeah, movie. But then like when I was sitting there, well, once we moved, I was okay. But there was a few times where I was just like, good God, this is terrifying, you know? Cause I'm like, what if I touch something or what if, you know, the movie was great, by the way. The movie was great, but the experience was very stressful, and I probably won't do it again. I honestly think I would plop down $120 to rent a theater to see Eternals for just my family, rather than do that again.
I wish that, like, I don't think they do that here. But, like, I wish they would. I'd do that shit just for me to see it.
Right? Peace of mind. What's it? There you go. So yeah, Donnie, do you?
Doesn't want to see it.
Yeah, Jack said he doesn't want to see it. That's right. Donnie, do you have a fun thing?
No, I told you I do shit.
You didn't do anything fun while I was gone?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, I will be talking about my little vacation gradually because it's a lot and I don't want to take up a bunch of time. But just know that I had to. I didn't have to. I chose to postpone Korea again, but my husband has promised me that I can go next spring, right?
Yep.
I don't want to hear shit. So, so I did that. I canceled that, and then I'd been really stressed about it, obviously, and really depressed about it. And I knew school was starting, so I was like, maybe I'll do a staycation thing. You know, just get a hotel room. And like I mentioned it, and then was like, yeah, fuck it, and I'm not gonna do it. That's stupid. That's a waste. Blah blah blah. And then my friend Jamel was like, and you guys have, hey girl, you guys have, you guys know Jamel if you've been listening to podcasts for a while. While I was banned from one account, I don't even remember now. Oh, I was banned? Why did I get banned? What did I get? Was it the thing when I posted the "I'm gonna kill your father"?
That was one of them. That was the last one. That was while you're on vacation.
Yeah, that was while I was on vacation because I wrote Kaylee and she was like, "We've had pizza like 6 times since you've been gone." I was like, "I'm gonna kill your father."
That's exaggeration, but yeah.
Anyway, so while I was banned for something, my friends got together and decided to chip in so that I could go stay to a staycation. And so when I came back from being banned, they Venmo'd me Cash Apped me a considerable amount of money. So I was able to book a really nice room in a really nice hotel for what was supposed to be 4 days. And he had like this, stay 3 nights, get the 4th night free. So that's what I did. And I had tacked on a self-care package. So they like have all this nice stuff in my room. But then once I got there, I just really loved being alone, and I loved it that bad. And I loved living in a hotel, and I just want to live in a hotel. I'd be okay with that. It was nice. It was a really nice experience. So I just kept extending it. And so I did it until Friday.
I've wanted to live in a hotel ever since I saw Dunstan do it.
Dunstan checks in. But yeah, so I have stories about it. It was a really great experience, but like I said, I will probably dole it out over time, but just know that's where I was, that's what I did, and I did it with the help of some amazing friends, and I'm gonna name drop them on the very next podcast. I don't have the list in front of me. It was like 7 to 8 folks, so it was really, really nice. Anything else before we...
I have one more thing, and then I will be depleted of all of my interesting things.
Okay.
I cooked a thing this past weekend. I cooked pizza stuffed peppers.
Ooh, like bell peppers.
Yeah.
Stuffed, yeah.
Something I also posted on Facebook, and you did not see it, I guess.
John, they watching me. They keep banning me for stupid shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is an idea similar to the 5K, I guess. I had this idea a long time ago, and I just haven't done it. And I finally was like, fuck it, I'm going to make these things. And they turned out a lot better than I would have assumed because I don't cook things. So.
Wait, is this a recipe that you've seen or something you thought would taste good and you just whipped it together? I mean, you said it was something you wanted to make.
And it's an idea that I had, and I looked, I was like, there has to be a recipe that can just tell me how to do this. And there really wasn't. There wasn't. I don't feel like anybody's ever done this before, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, with pizza, I'm assuming ingredients and pizza toppings. Yeah, I've had it with like white rice and.
That was the thing. Is like pretty much every recipe for stuffed peppers is like put white rice in it, and I was like, well, that's not pizza.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I found one that was like, you don't have to use rice. You can just put ground beef by itself. And I was like, all right, that's good. And so then I just wanted to like proof of concept that it was possible and it wouldn't suck.
Right.
And when I saw that, I was like, all right, cool. And so what I did was I made meatballs and I put the meatballs, I cooked them obviously. And then I put diced mushrooms and diced onions, and then I, instead of tomato sauce, which is what again most recipes call for, I used pizza sauce. And then so I did that, and I made like that filling with all those ingredients, and then I put them into the pepper with like a layer of mozzarella and then another layer of the filling, and then I topped it with mozzarella and pepperoni. And then I cooked it, and then I ate it. And it was good.
How like I'm assuming knife and fork, how'd the peppers hold up?
What do you mean?
Like when you take it out and you're eating it, how are you eating it? Is it like, are you scooping your fillings out and like with a fork, or do you cut into it? Like
they stay pretty solid. They stay like if you cook for a long time, like I cooked for an hour. And that's how long you want to do it. And because you are cooking the pepper, right? Like that's the point of baking it, because all the filling should be already.
It's all already done. Yeah.
And so you put the filling in, and then you put the peppers into like a casserole dish, and then for the first 45 minutes, you're gonna put it on. Cover it foil. Cover the dish with foil, so that you don't burn the cheese.
The cheese, right?
And then after the last 15 minutes, you take the foil off, and then let the cheese brown. And if it doesn't brown, you broil it.
Yeah.
And then when you're eating it, I used a knife and a fork. But like, if I would have just let it cool off, I probably could have picked it up and eaten it like an apple.
Yeah. It's so funny when he was like, because what you want to do is like, this is like a tried and true centuries old family recipe.
I'm just saying.
John talking now like he done made this shit his whole life.
I'm practically a chef.
I see.
I mean, I also made turkey burgers. I mean, I've made a few things in the last 2 weeks.
Why wouldn't you just make
I
real
will say
burger?
that Nina is becoming a chef. She made some really good chili today. So.
Yes, I did. That. I came home slightly domesticated. I ordered yesterday a shit ton of groceries. Forgot stuff from the supermarket. We needed some stuff from Costco. And then this morning before class, I like cleaned out the fridge. Like Donnie had cleaned it out by like throwing away things that we didn't eat or things that like expired or whatever. And then I went in there with like actual cleaner and a sponge and stuff and was wiping down the shelving. And the groceries came, put away the groceries. And I was thinking like, oh, the other day I was like, I really want some chili. And he was sleeping. And I thought, well, we got a podcast tonight. What if I just make dinner early? And chili is great because it, you can kind of make it and it sits, so,
set it and forget it.
Yeah, basically, you know what I'm trying to say. So, so I started making, but he normally makes the chili. So, and I didn't want to wake him up, that defeats the purpose of doing something nice for somebody. So at like 1:30 in the afternoon, I'm making this chili and Kaylee's like, why are you cooking so early? And she's like, why are you cooking?
And, what happened to you?
Who are you?
I don't know. But I got some new mugs today. I had ordered a set of 4 mugs that come in like, so there's a blue set and each one is like a different shade of blue. So I got a blue set, a green set, and a pink set, and the blue and green ones came today. So I cleaned up the counter, put my new mugs up on this mug tree. I don't know, I was just feeling a little Martha Stewart-ish, and I made some chili and
did a little bit of insider trading,
yeah, a little bit. I wish, shit, because that would mean I have money. So yeah, I cooked. Look at us. We're all domesticated and doing charitable races.
Yeah, healing.
Trying to.
Growing.
I do.
What's wrong with turkey burgers? What's wrong with those?
Just eat a fucking regular burger.
I do eat regular burgers, but I wanted to try turkey burgers. I got some ground turkey. I put an egg in it. I put some breadcrumbs. Put some parsley, some garlic. Mixed that shit up. Made some burgers. It was good.
I ate like trash while I was gone. I just want to tell you, and I enjoyed every moment of it. So we're going to talk about the episodes now, but I do want to say something that it's going to sound a little shoot the shit-ish, but it's really not, because it does pertain to the episode. So first of all, I love this show. I've seen these episodes numerous times. When I was in the hotel, that was kind of fun too. Like all my shows came on while I was in the hotel. So it was just kind of fun being like, oh, I can watch new TV shows too, not just stuff that I binged. But anyway, I would just sometimes just put it on, like while I was studying Korean, I would just put on, the series. And so it's been background noise, but I rewatched them earlier today to take notes. And right kind of like at the beginning of the last episode we're going to talk about, episode 6, BTS announced a concert. And I'm making life decisions. And I really don't have a lot of notes for that last episode. So I hope Donnie and John can come through for you guys. Because the episode was over and it was like 4:58. And I was like, oh, okay. That happened fast. So I'm really, really sorry, you guys.
How much dip did you eat?
What do you mean? Oh.
Oliver, that's all he eats.
Dip. It's so funny because we were talking about that hummus that she gives him that's a day expired.
But you know he's gonna eat it.
And when he first takes the first like spoonful of it or whatever, it's like dripping off the spoon. And I was like, I'm no hummus expert because I'm black. But
hummus ain't supposed to do that.
I don't think hummus, right? I said to Donnie, I was like, my impression is that hummus is a bit of a heartier, thicker type dip. That shit was soupy.
I mean, ain't it close to like guacamole, like that kind of consistency?
Yeah. So basically, Oliver's gonna have the shits.
I think he always does.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I'm
He's
so
like
sorry, you guys. But I just want to say that you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, you're so crazy." I don't know what they're doing. It's a new theater, not a theater, a stadium. SoFi. I don't know. I expected one of you men to know what that means.
SoFi. Where is it?
California, Los Angeles. Who plays in the SoFi Theater? It was a theater, stadium.
Some
it was
footballers.
It was. Yeah, you sound like you've been watching Ted Lasso. They built it last year. So
what city is it in?
It says Inglewood.
I don't know.
SoFi Stadium and Entertainment Complex. Oh, so I guess it's maybe not. It doesn't have an. Oh, the home team is the Rams.
Okay, I was gonna say either the Rams or the Chargers, but okay.
Done. Okay. So anyway, it's 4 dates. November 29th, 30th, December 1st, December 2nd, and it's supposed to be like COVID restrictions or accommodations or something like that. So I don't know if they're going to try using those concert pods, which quite a few concerts in California have used, or what. But because I had tickets to the canceled tour, I get early ticket access. So I don't know.
When is it?
December. It'll be either November 29th, November 30th, December 1st, December 2nd. And I would just do one if I did.
Yeah. I mean,
would you go to a concert like in a pot, and it's like a open stadium, like an open top. Yeah.
I wish more things would say you have to be vaccinated or stay the fuck out. Like instead of this, you have to have a negative test thing. Is like, come on.
When I looked at the site, they were like, you have to. They said whether you're vaccinated or not, everyone has to wear a mask at all times. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's something about saying whether you're vaccinated or not, and that makes me feel like they don't ask for vaccination, right? Because it shouldn't matter whether you're vaccinated or not, because everybody in there should be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And then you get what I mean? And then you just say masks are mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
So that phrasing, I was like, So I think what I'm going to do is, because I'm just kind of anal this way, I'm going to look up tickets and see how much, because it was super cheap before to fly into Burbank, and look at a cheap hotel, and just doing a one night, and then just seeing the cost of that. And then of course I'll just try for the tickets. It can't hurt to log in and see. Course. Yeah. It can't hurt to log in and see what's what. And then if they are doing anything special in terms of seating for COVID, I think I'll know then, right? Because it should be displayed in the seating arrangement, when you're picking your tickets.
Yeah, I mean, they should have all their things listed.
I don't know. I just feel so crazy. I felt so jealous of people who when would you say people were really, when would you say we were getting to a month where people they'd had their second shot? Like May?
Yeah, it was May. May would have been like I got mine April 30th. So yeah,
Okay.
it was around May.
So I just feel like May. I just remember people were going out and doing stuff, and
there was there was a good 4-week period where like every state like, oh, you don't need to wear a mask. Yeah. Everything was just normal.
Basically June. Basically June was like we're good.
Yeah.
And then July was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We made a mistake.
So I just kind of, I don't know. And even when they were doing that stuff, I was like, oh, y'all are, that's risky. Y'all are, either crazy or brave, And now
I get that booster shot. That's what I want. I keep waiting for them to tell me I can get it so I can go fucking get it.
It's going to be a while. I guarantee we're not going to get boosters till next year.
Fucking Joe Biden's getting it. I saw a motherfucker get it on the internet.
He's like 100.
They're doing it by age and by the same thing, like they did with the original shots. It's going to be the elderly and all that get the shots first, and the sick people get it first, and so the same thing as it happened last year. It took us months before we could even get it.
Somebody we know said that they're considering lying to get the booster.
I mean, that's the thing is they say like right now you can get it if you have like a pre-existing condition or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
I can get it.
When you got shots before, like being fat was a pre-existing condition. So I'm like, can I get it now? That's why, I called my doctor in April and I was like, I'm fat, and they're like, come right in. I'm like, yeah, give me the booster then. And that's the thing is like I look at states that are like not Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, like sure, if 90% of people want the fucking shot, then yeah, I can wait in line. But like I'm in Georgia, nobody here fucking wants the thing.
Right, yeah.
So like just let me get it.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of the people who actually wants it. So just let me get it. Anyway.
So I don't know. That's a thing I'm considering, but we'll see. As part of me, it's like, they're fucking crazy for doing this. But it's like, other people have been having concerts and going to, and it's an interesting choice to me that they picked just these 4 dates in Los Angeles. And then I looked online and people said that's because they have some of the highest vaccination rates plus the strictest COVID restrictions when it comes to concerts. Like they've just been doing concerts for these past few months with seemingly no issue. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's what I just get jealous because people are out here like doing shit because they're in places like that where it's safe.
Yeah.
And then I'm here and I'm like, I try to do anything and it's like nobody gives a shit. I'm gonna stay home.
All right, let's talk about these episodes. So, okay, I gotta say, you guys, I didn't care for episode 4 that much. I don't know. I didn't care about Sting.
Yeah, like, I don't care about Sting. In general.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, shut up. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I'm serious. Like, I know that there are probably a lot of people, closer to Steve Martin Short's age. They were like, Sting is awesome. And I'm like, all right.
Nina likes Sting.
I do. Why are you saying it like I was trying to hide it?
Without telling your age, I mean,
I love Sting, okay? But I mean, I meant in terms of the story. Like, I didn't care about, like, because I knew it wasn't him. So I don't know. It was just something about this episode, that part of the story I didn't like. But other than that, I'm still loving it.
Yeah, I feel like that episode, it leaned heavily into the sting of it all. Like, it leaned heavily into, like, this is our celebrity guy. And so, like, in a situation like that, if you're not like, hell yeah, Sting, then it's like, all right, cool. Yeah. Like, I get it. He's a famous guy.
You're basically Mabel.
Yeah, basically. I'm like, the guy from you too.
Yeah. Like, I get that he's famous. I just don't care. So with episode 4, we have the aftermath of Oliver's dog being poisoned. And I love when he says, we must be getting somewhere because they're attacking the leader or something like that. Steve Martin is like, so you're the leader? He's like, well, did your dog get poisoned?
And I love that he's like, it's always about the money. This is exactly like Die Hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, when he said that line, I always had to, like, stop and think, like, what?
Yeah, right. I was like, is it? And he's like, I guess, yeah, because it is always about the money. I get it.
And this is episode they go see Cindy.
Yeah, Cinda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it, like, what I got, like, because what they're telling us here is that, like, all of this stuff is just made up in her head, right?
What do
like,
you
she
mean?
doesn't, right?
She does, made up in whose head?
Her, like, I felt like that what she was going, like, she's not actually out there investigating shit like that. I felt like it was just stories that she was telling. Just
so you're saying
made
that
up
the entire show, you're saying you think is fabricated by Tina Fey's character?
Yes. And those other two people that were with her.
Oh, so wait a second. Now
that's how I got it, because she talked about it, like, that's how
well, I mean, she won a Peabody, so I'm assuming that she has been investigating actual crimes that happened. But but I will say that, so when she says things like, do you know what it feels like to be up to your neck in sewage for 8 hours, like that, like that type of stuff, I would say is fake. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's really going out there investigating a crime that happened and apparently catching killers, but she's obviously elaborating a bit. And that's what she was trying to train the other. But it sounds like what you're saying, is all of it is fake.
Well, the story, the crimes themselves could be real, but as far as, like, because if you listen to a true crime podcast now, they're just telling you about the crime. Right. They're not actually going out there investigating.
But it sounds like with this one, she's actually, like, either catching criminals or her work is leading to, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's like some sort of cold case or something. Because it sounds like she's actually helping people get caught. Because she said something like, you know, when she says how I got the mayor's confession because I brought him the turkey. Like
the Golden State Killer guy.
Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm.
Wasn't that, like, not a podcast, but like just
yeah. She had like a true crime. Similar. She had a true crime blog, I think.
Oh, okay.
Patton Oswald's wife, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, his wife. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I don't know. That's interesting, Donnie. I don't think I buy into that, but I mean.
that it's fake.
Yeah, that it's all in her head. That she's making all this up.
Yeah. Oh no! I don't think that's what Donnie's saying though. Right? Like, you're not saying that she's
the investigation part is the stuff that I think is false. Like, talking about, like, the up and like you said, the sewage and stuff like that. The crimes themselves that she talks about are probably real crimes.
Okay.
Just like any podcast that you listen to now, but I don't feel like if you sit there and you listen to, I can't even think of. There's a bunch of them I've listened to, but they're not actually going out there investigating shit. They're just talking about it on a podcast.
So when John said that it's all in her head, I thought you were saying, John, like, that what Donnie was saying was that, like, all, like, everything is just, like, complete fabrication. Like, that the show is in her head.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was saying, but like, the people are real, but she's making up the situations that they're in.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
That's what I thought Donnie was saying. Was that like Tim Chono actually died, and these three people actually were in the building, but she's making up all the exaggerated things that they're doing.
I didn't even think that. Yeah, John's going completely.
And that's what
I thought you were saying.
No, I didn't think, like, she was thinking this whole. But the only murders in the building was, like, out in her head. I didn't think that. No.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why I had to stop. It's like, wow, is that what that?
But there is. I think it was this episode or episode 5 where she's narrating it, and it's.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, like, obviously, like, kind of hard foreshadowing that just the way the first episode opened with her, over somebody's bloody body. So we know something is going to happen.
Right. I'm just curious how the fuck they're going to do season 2, but yeah.
When she said to him, when he was talking about the date, what's his name? Charles, when he wanted to go out with the bassoonist and they came to brainstorm like what their turkey should be. Mm-hmm. And she goes, 70 is the new 40. And he goes, I want you to be less mean. And she goes, I know you do. Oh, they're so charming together.
I really liked the stuff where Martin Short, Oliver, was trying to give Charles tips.
The tips, yeah. He's like, talk about her bag.
Yes.
No, don't do that.
It's like, no, all of those words that you just said are wrong.
Yeah. It's like, if it's
this is why you're single.
if it's not attached to her body, you can compliment it. So what else? The date. When he goes out on the date with the bassoonist and she's like oversharing and she expects something back and he's like, nope. That was so beautifully awkward. That poor guy.
This show, it was such a good reminder of how much I love Steve Martin. Mm-hmm. Because that scene you're talking about was like, it was just so like wacky, mm-hmm. like in the Steve Martin way.
Yeah.
But then the later scene when he goes to her apartment and tells her the truth
about Lucy,
like it was so endearing. Mm-hmm. Like mm-hmm. the way that Steve Martin can do it, like it's just like that's like the duality of what Steve Martin has in him. You know mm-hmm. what I mean? It's mm-hmm. like he's so good at the wacky, like physical comedy,
right?
But then he can turn on like real acting. Mm-hmm. Like, and so like I just felt so nice in that scene when he's telling her the truth and he's like being vulnerable to her. And like all the stuff with fucking Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig, and I was like, what the fuck are these guys doing here?
I know.
I was like, is this a reference to Looney Tunes Back in Action, which he was in? Like, I don't know. And it was
when they knocked on the door and he looked over at them and he's just, oh, fuck off. Uh-huh. Yeah, when you find out what it means, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just like so like nice, and then after that, the physical comedy turns back on when he goes to Oliver's apartment and is like, I'm tired, and he just passes out on the couch.
Yes.
It's just Steve Martin, I'm so glad we're getting to see him again. That's one of the reasons why I'm glad there's a season 2 coming, because mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I just want to see more Steve Martin. It's just nice.
I did like the fact that the son came in and was the one that told them, like, because it makes you like obviously the son would know her if because both of these guys have lived in this hotel
right
their whole career or whatever, so it's obviously that this guy's son would know of Mabel or have seen Mabel in this hotel because they're all around the same age.
And he told everything. He's like, you didn't tell me you were doing the podcast with Mabel, whatever the hell.
And I love too, like, and I guess this is jumping to the next episode.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
But then, like, because it was something I thought of. Because when Will, Oliver's son, is telling the truth about Mabel mm-hmm. and exposing her,
right?
I was like, okay, like when because I wasn't certain in previous episodes, like if Mabel's friend died, 10 years ago or whatever, mm-hmm. at this place, like I wasn't mm-hmm. certain like about the placement of that. So like they confirmed that it happened here, and so I was like, how the fuck do Oliver and Charles not know this?
Right.
Like this death, this apparent murder happened here 10 years ago, and I mean, I liked when they're in the car and they're talking about it, and he's like, oh, that was the year that I was fucked up or something. So, okay.
He goes, no, I love what he says. He said, oh, that was the year that I was on prednisone and I blew up and didn't leave the house. He goes, Google Charles Hayden Savage Fat.
Immediately,
they're so fucking petty. He's like, ooh, looks like you're wearing a turtleneck. Oh man. But we meet Oscar in this episode.
Yeah, I like him.
Me too.
Tie-dye guy.
Yeah, tie-dye guy. I'm glad that he's not like he's nice and sweet, and right. I believe
because they did play it like he could be involved,
right?
But until the Flip said no.
Yeah.
Until the end of the episode, and he's like, I was going there to fuck him up, but then I heard a gunshot. I ran away.
And he started trap yoga in prison.
I don't know how do you guys feel about the relationship that's weird to me.
Yeah, because it makes me wonder. Remember I said
because he was with the blonde girl and she was with
right. And we had that scene where he looked at Mabel and was like, "Damn, girl," and Zoe got upset. And then the way the scene played, where the night Zoe died, they were on the roof and she like saw him doing something and ran off and he chased after her. And she says that's like textbook cheating or something like that. And so it's like, oh, she must have caught him with someone. And then Mabel comes stumbling. She's obviously drunk. So I'm wondering if Zoe saw them kissing or something. Because I do feel like there's a thing there, right?
Right.
Between them.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, because Zoe would have seen something happen and then ran off, and then she ran into someone, presumably, and that's who killed her.
Right. And Tim saw that person, or at least it's what we think, because he says to Mabel, no, someone else, when he said he saw her with someone.
Right.
But he won't say who.
The son of Nathan Lane.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I keep forgetting that he exists.
I do too, because until you said that, I was like, because I don't think they showed him in all of these 3 episodes.
Yeah,
and it was go ahead.
I was just they're about the same age,
and he's the only other person of that age range that
See, I was thinking he was tie-dye guy, but then obviously we found out he was not tie-dye guy. So it's got to be someone. It's Chekhov's son.
Saggy bottom balls in Sag Harbor.
I'm gonna be singing that all day.
Boom, boom, boom.
And when they stop because the car, Oliver's old ass car.
He's like, they start chasing me. He's like, let me go get my car. He's like, you got a car? And he's like, you're paying for parking?
When he said, you pay for parking, like that hit me. That hit deep.
Well, that is expensive. He's paying for it in the hotel parking has got to be, or apartment complex, what do you call it?
Has got to be ridiculously expensive.
And he hasn't driven this car in 25 years because his license has been expired. Like,
this is why we keep seeing why he's fucking broke, because
he won't let go of this lifestyle.
He's got a hair guy. He's got a car that he just pays for parking, no reason.
And that has to be like part of his fees, right? That he's overdue.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he didn't want to rip up that check.
I don't even want to imagine what the HOA fees are for this fucking place.
No, that's what I mean. Insane. When that guy was like, he goes, my cousin just picked up 2 white boys. Let me call you back.
Yeah, that was so good. I really like number one, like those guys were fun. One of them was Rodwood Jr., right? And then I don't remember the other guy. He's probably someone. Yeah. But I like those guys because then later in the next episode, like that interaction pays off, right? Because you see that the detective's partner or wife or whatever she says, "Oh, the Yard Dogs guys tweeted this."
Yeah.
And so that's how she found Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah. Yes. And that's right.
So I like that. I really, it was just like, this could have been just like, oh, this is a fun couple of guys that they met. But then it actually played into the story.
Yeah.
Because at that time in the car, they had only, I think he said 17. He's like, we got 17 subscribers. When
he
those guys are like, we have 60,000.
And he was, they were hot, especially Charles. He was hot when they talked about their subscribers and their, we're on Send This Network. Oh.
Sin.
But yeah, so it leads into the next episode where they have confronted her with, what's his name? Oscar. Yeah. We got an Oscar and an Oliver. They confront her and she admits that she did know Tim. And the best part of this episode, was Detective D and her wife.
Episode 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it was nice because they had like structure to it, right? Because then like when you see like she's a kid and like it's like, who the fuck is this kid? And then it's like, wait a minute, it's the detective. And then you go into it and then it's like, oh, okay.
And I recognized her voice like right away. So when she starts like the narration, I was watching it in the hotel room and I was like looking down like at my iPad or something, and I heard her voice, and I was like, oh, that's cool, they brought her back. And I was like, wow, they're going back like to her childhood. This is cool. Like this is gonna mean something. And then you find out she's gay. I was like, yes, this is great. I'm so glad they brought her back.
Yeah, and it feels right that like you don't just bring in that character to be the detective one time.
Yeah. And I like that, like, because it was kind of like we didn't know it at the time because it was the first episode, but it did feel kind of like out of place. Like afterwards, like it was like over the top how like vehemently she hated true crime podcasts. She was like, you fucking true crime podcast asshole rejects, take your ass home. I was like, Jesus Christ, lady. But now getting to know her and knowing more about her, it makes sense, you know. Anyway, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I liked the Herman's head like references, like, because I don't know, like it kind of, I don't know if they were going for it, but like it felt kind of like that's how a podcast is. Like when you listen to a podcast, it's like voices in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you can create like parasocial relationships that like feel real.
So without even realizing it, she's been listening to podcasts. Oh, and the woman who plays her wife, shit, what was her name? Was it Kelly? No, Kate. Shit. Did I write it down? Damn it, I did not. She reminds me of Allison in Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Right? But yeah, I really like this relationship. And that's it. Like, that's all the notes I have for this episode because BTS announced the concert, and I'm sorry.
All right. So let me look and see what we got here.
Mabel's mom.
Yeah, Mabel's mom. I'm looking through my notes here.
Yeah, because they when they confront them, it's at the
tattoo
place
of like Mabel's cousin.
Right, and she goes over
Tabo.
how Tim was supposed to meet somebody there for jewelry, like selling jewelry under, I don't know, something about
black market jewelry.
Yeah. Black market jewelry. That's right.
Yeah. Cutter. But I
he
like
was basically looking for one specific ring.
Yeah, I like how in the previous episode when she Mabel is looking at GM and she's like, "Oh, it's Gus Montrose from this book," and then they're in the car and Oscar's like, "What if it's Gustavo, your cousin?" And she's like, "Ah, shit."
Yes.
It's not just like a character in a book; it's a guy that you just know.
Right, right.
Why don't we see him?
She was really into the Hardy Boys. Okay.
I like that. So then that was Gustavo, and then they show up there, and then like Mabel's mom shows up, like, "What? You come over here, and I got come
to our neighborhood. You don't even fucking say hi."
Yeah.
From this guy over here. And then I love how like she was like when they went to dinner with Mabel's mom, and she kept looking at Charles and Oliver like, how the fuck old are these guys?
Yes.
and I'm like, what are you, 70? And Oliver's like, I'm in my very early mid-60s. I like that. And then I like the interest, like when she called them randos.
Yes.
And then I love this line, this exchange when Oliver tells Charles what a rando is, like, oh, it's slang for someone of little significance. And then Charles is like, I
got that from the context clues,
but thank you.
Then they use rando like nonstop after that.
Yes,
they start using. It's funny because you notice that they're starting to use this slang. They're learning from.
And when he does it at the end, and she goes, "That's not the right hand gesture."
Oh yeah, because he does the finger. The fingers, thighs.
Yeah.
And then at one point he says, "I'm shook." Mabel taught me that. I was like, me too. And it's like. That's the thing. It's like it's funny because like they make it funny, but like underneath it, what I like is that it shows that they're actually becoming friends.
Yes,
and like they're actually having.
When he says, "Oh, you know my phone settings."
Yeah, we're not random, whatever.
Yeah.
And like his like then you hear when Mabel talks to her mom, and she's like. Yeah, they're weird, but they're also like the first friends I've had in years. Like I like the show's doing a really good job there of like I said, making it funny, but also like having like endearing things underneath it, to where like it feels good when you're watching it.
And this is also very much like a podcast too, in that. It's like in real life, you're seeing what happens. And I say in real life, what I mean, like making friends through a podcast, basically. So this would be like if you lived in a building and it turns out like 4 other people in your building who you would never talk to otherwise also listen to Podcast Fandom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So, like anybody out there listening to Podcast Fandom in your building, go tell other people about it. And
use the TikToks and the Twitters.
Just go knock on doors.
I mean, we're not even murdering anyone. I mean, we can't. We're committed.
I'm gonna really quickly read the feedback because. There's a bit of it, and maybe this way it'll fill in some blanks if I forgot something.
Well, I have 2 more things about the episode.
Okay.
They'll probably be in the feedback, but just one, the detective finding out that apparently her department is hiding shit.
Yes. Yeah.
About this. Like, they don't want to look into Tim Kono's suicide, quote unquote, murder.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that she sent his cell phone to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like breaking all kind of rules.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't reopen the case.
Yeah, and then the other thing, the fact that now Nathan Lane is their prime suspect.
Yes, but it's really his son.
I feel like that's this is it's too early in the show for them to actually have their prime suspect.
Yeah. So Rochelle says about episode 4, hello, oh my gosh, the son also hung out with, was aware of the other kids in the building. I hope we see more of him. When Oliver brought out the boom mic, I lost it.
He kept doing it. I kept saying that to Nina. Like, every time something like interesting would happen, this big ass mic would pop out of nowhere.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. That also makes me a bit suspicious of Nathan Lane's son, since he may be in the same age group. I knew Charles's story would be sad, but woof, indeed. I so relate. That story was fucked up, was what it was.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because this is like, what was her name? I don't remember the mom,
Lucy
Eileen or something.
Lucy, I don't remember the mom's name.
Yeah, whatever the mom's name. Like, she was like, didn't want to be with her daughter, apparently, or something.
It was like terrible. She didn't like. He says she didn't like him cooking her omelets. It was really weird.
Weird,
and
yeah.
They never explained to us like why she was the way she was. She was just like, she didn't want him to get close to Lucy.
Yeah, and now like he just hasn't seen Lucy in like 6 years or whatever.
Yeah. But the neighbors talked to her.
I was gonna say, she still FaceTimes with artists. She goes, where was I? Oh, I so related to him struggling to share as little as possible on the date in order to maintain his pride. I hope he reconnects with Lucy. From her Valentine's card, she seems like a precocious teen, maybe. Also, something that keeps bugging me is the notes they found in the trash in episode 1. What were those about? Yes, it was like practicing a suicide note. We already know from the start of the series that the end is going to be dramatic, but that podcast voiceover this episode makes it even more ominous. I truly thought the title of this was Only Murders in the Building for the longest time, so that podcast title was perfect. Thanks. Oh, Only Murderers in the Building. So
yeah, that first date was like, it was real, like, it was like before the first date when he was like, I'm especially good at first dates, and then like Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig like browbeat him into saying, because that's all I mostly have.
Yes.
That was really sad.
Yeah.
And very relatable.
Don't make me say something is sad and then make me laugh at it. So Kimberly says, hi Nina, Donnie, and John. This is the 30 Rock cameo episode with Tina Fey and the actor who played Jack's secretary making appearances. I've never watched 30 Rock. I don't think I've seen one episode.
I didn't watch it like any consistent. Like I've seen maybe 1 or 2 or 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Donnie?
Nope.
Okay. Oliver thinks Sting tried to kill his dog and is the murderer. The gang thinks bringing Sting a turkey will make him confess. The question of who is Lucy has been answered, resulting in us also finding out why Charles is haunted by Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig. I love this fucking show. Charles's flirtation with Jan musical rendition. Oh, that was really sweet. Of Do You Think I'm Sexy Included continues. That was really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Bassoon.
Yeah, they're basically talking to each other through music.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I imagine like there's someone else in the building like, shut the fuck up.
Right. Yes.
Like, you guys, like, this is a concert hall. Like, I'm trying to
get room.
So I'm going to skip through things that have already been talked about. Here's one thing she said. I loved when he said he was planning to take it slow with her, and Mabel snarked that doing this made sense because 70 is the new 40. And then she goes, please don't let Jan be the killer. And I hadn't even considered that. No. This is just a love story, right?
Sure. I
God,
hope.
Please. I hope.
Rochelle. It just reminds me of who, like, I wonder if we're ever going to meet, because we met Mabel's mom. Mm-hmm. Are we ever going to meet her aunt?
Oh.
Whose apartment it apparently is?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what the hell does she do? Did they ever say?
No, I think she's just not there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But she's apparently lived in this building for, at least 10 years, because she was there when Mabel was there before.
Okay.
But now that we've met, now I don't think there's anything suspicious there anymore now that we've met her mother.
Okay. Rochelle says, I'm going to be jumping back and forth because of the way they left their feedback. Rochelle says, Oliver is paying car insurance and parking in New York City. No wonder he's financially underwater. I'm just repeating that because y'all said that earlier. The Long Island slander was hilarious. My town even got a shout out in the song. Then back to Kimberly. She's saying to me, now, Nina, the black woman would have opened up a can of whoop ass on Charlie. There's no way in hell she just stood here and let that strange touchy hidey thing go unaddressed. At the very least, she would have screamed on his ass. Wait, who's Charlie?
In the when he's following them on foot and they're in the car and he hides behind the woman on the corner of the street.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. I'm so glad you said that, because I said to Donnie, right? That was like, that's weird, because he touched her. Yeah.
Right.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was like, this is really fucking weird, and I'm expecting her to react. Mm-hmm. But then I guess, with having him look at the other guy and say, welcome to New York, I was like, oh, I guess they're saying that she's okay with it because it's New York and New York is weird. I don't know.
But it's just a weird thing to use to make that point, a man touching a woman he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, yeah. And it feels like, no offense, it just feels like the kind of dated older white dude joke that would have played maybe in an 80s movie. But now we're like, hey, this is...
The Man with Two Brains, Steve Martin.
Which I'm sure is a lovely film. I've never seen it.
It's a very film.
Okay. Hold on. Almost done here. Oh, and then she says, Roy Wood Jr. ! Exclamation point. Let's see. Oh, so Rochelle says, I have a theory, which I hate. I think it's Demas's son who killed Zoe and Tim. They really gave Nathan Lane room to shine in this episode, and I felt so much for his family. I don't want it to be his son, but maybe the Hardy Boys stole that coin and he accidentally killed Zoe to get it back. What I'm lost on is how the black market jewelry plays into it. I also like learning more about the detective. In her first episode, she was a bit harsh, and one note, thank you. But this episode added depth to her character. I'm just a bit confused on who, quote unquote, they are. When she mentioned they, quote, didn't want the case to go further. Yeah, I just thought it meant whatever white dudes are in charge.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
With some kind of political pull. Probably.
Yeah, somebody probably related to, the fact that Nathan Lane's character is rich. Mm-hmm. If he's involved.
Right.
Getting paid off by him.
And the last, stop yawning, Donnie.
Sorry.
That scene when he when they see Jimmy Fallon talking about the podcast.
Yes, you think he's gonna be pissed?
Yeah, because they're talking about how shitty the podcast is.
Right.
Yes.
But at the same time, they're saying Demas whatever the fuck.
And how good the sandwiches are.
Yeah, and then they're like, I love those sandwiches. And so he's like, this is amazing. And I'm like, yeah. Your podcast gets talked about on, the Tonight Show or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're going to get new listeners.
Yep.
So if Jimmy Fallon wants to talk about how bad this podcast is,
he is welcome to it. Finally, Kimberly says, backstory for Dee, the black woman detective. Yeah, I too loved Herman's head. Yeah, there's two things quickly. I asked you, Donnie, I think, if you watch Herman's Head, or
Never
if you
heard
knew
of
it. And if you'd heard of it, he said no. And John, had you heard of it?
Yeah, I knew of it. I never watched, like, I think I watched an episode because obviously it was like the 80s.
Right.
But when Inside Out came out, the Pixar movie, people were like, "Oh, this is just like Herman's Head."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh,
right.
Okay."
Yeah.
And so I think I watched an episode around that time.
Yeah. Okay.
But I read about what it was, and basically, if you've seen Inside Out, it's very similar to that.
Yep, I absolutely remembered it and watched it. She said, damn, her wife is siding with the whites after she had a horrible day at work dealing with the child killer. See, honestly thought she overreacted, Dee, when she left.
It was very, like, I don't know. It was like overreacted, I think is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't exactly sure why she was upset. And then the last thing she says was, I can't believe you brought up work, or you said, and I was like, is it like you're upset that she caused you to realize that you might have made a mistake and now you have to go back to work to deal with it? I'm like, how is that her fault? Like, I don't know. I wasn't sure what they were going for, so it just felt like an overreaction. Anyway,
it felt like an unhealthy moment.
Yes.
In their relationship.
Yes, because that was just So, and good for her on sending Tim Kono's phone to Mabel. Let's see. The show was renewed for a second season, which I guess is a good thing. I just wonder if they'll keep the same cast and locale. I mean, how many murders can take place in the Arconia for these 3? Possibly 5 if you count Oscar and Dee to solve. Maybe they open up a detective agency.
Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. Sidebar, I love the cardboard cutout of Detective Stabler. Yes. Christopher Maloney has been and remains hot. I say replace Pratt with him on the hottest Chris ranking any day of the week. Facts.
I don't know why when I was...
Mario. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Yes, replace Chris Pratt with Christopher Maloney.
He's at least Mario. Italian, right? At least Christopher Maloney's Italian. Shit.
Give Mario that ass. I mean, look, come on.
Oh, we should start what is it? Change.org. Get some signatures on that bitch. Anyway, so that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Donnie has to go to work. I gotta do some school stuff because I'm back in school. That's another thing. That's a whole other podcast. And that's it. We will be back. When are we back, John? I don't know if John's joining, interested in talking about the stuff that I mentioned at the start of the podcast or not. But we are doing Titans next, right? For sure.
Yeah, Titans next week? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe we should at some point address why the last
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. Are we doing that or not?
I don't know. I just feel like, do you want to? Like, it's like, ugh. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but they're like so terrible. I don't like
it's not
anybody.
Worth talking about.
You don't want to do it?
You
say no if you don't want to do it. Okay. See, there you go.
I just feel like there's better stuff out there to talk about.
Okay. Because it's not, that's the thing, like, it's not, it's just, I don't
It's an interesting story, but the characters suck.
they're just so unlikable.
Yeah, the characters are not. Here's the review. The show's good. The characters by themselves are bad people.
Yes.
That you don't want to like.
Yes.
They continuously do things that you're like, why the fuck are you doing this?
Oh, that shit with Hero and Sam in that car. Terrible. So anyway, yeah. But we will be back soon to talk about a lot of good TV. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Do-do.